So probably the worst 48 hours of my life have ended, but now it's time to turn over the page. You know, Barca fans, we've been a little bit too sad for over a couple of days, but we gotta start thinking about what we're gonna do in the future. We gotta start thinking about how this club is going to rebuild for the next season. That is why exactly in this video we're gonna be starting the series on my channel where we take a look at every single individual thing the club needs to do to improve for next year, to not only be able to be competitive within La Liga and continue our dominance there, but also to be able to, of course, leave the Champions League. Today we got episode 1 of the Barcelona rebuild, where we're gonna be focusing on who to keep, who to sell, who to loan. And one more thing before starting off this video, be sure to check out our friends at Golazo Jersey. Links are also going to be in the description down below. They are a very good place to get cheap, reliable, quality footballing kits, so go there and get yours. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And as you know, when you start anything in life, a new process, a new project, you need to take a look at the tools that you have at your disposal. What can you utilize at this moment? And for Barcelona right now, those are the players. We're going to be taking a look at every single individual player Barcelona has right now in their ranks, all the way from people like Lionel Messi to people like Moussa Wagué, and distributing them in either 4 categories. The first category is called Deal. These are the players which not necessarily we're going to renew them, but players who just needs to stay in Barcelona for a very long future. So think of it kind of like in long term. Then we have Keep. Keep is kind of like the contrary of that. Are players that we can keep, but in the short term. Players who may be a little bit old and don't necessarily have a much of a future at Barcelona, but can still serve a purpose for the short term. Then we have Sell, which are the players that we need to sell. The players just need to go out that door right now. And then we got Loan. Loan are the players where I think that they're not just ready yet, and certainly players that can help us in the future, but not just right now. So as you can see, I've made this little kind of like overlay. It's not the best in the world, you know, it just took me, what, half an hour to make. I won't dedicate too much time to it because what we need to, the most important thing is what I have to say, right? Not what you have to see. Well, the very first player here, they're not in order in any particular means. And the very first one is going to be Juan Miranda. So Juan Miranda, I believe that he needs to go on a loan. I think that he's kind of a player where he can offer a lot to this club, but not just yet. I think he needs to improve on certain areas of his game, particularly more the transition between attacking and defending. He has been playing a lot of games in La Copa del Rey, but he hasn't looked particularly, I believe, impressive in any of them, let's be honest. Next one, we got Arturo Vidal. Arturo Vidal for me is a key. He's a player that has a lot of value, and I'm just gonna make him a little bit smaller. A player that has a lot of value, but he kind of like in monetary value, he's not the best. You know, you're not gonna get 20-30 million for him. We bought him for around 16 million euros, which is very, very low for a player of his quality. So the value is much more on what he can deliver on the field and not necessarily on the value of a transfer. So we should keep him because he can add a lot to our squad in the aggression, in the physicality. You know what he can bring. He has shown it in the games against Liverpool, and he was one of the best players. So yeah, let's keep Vidal. I believe that in the long term, in the short term, he can help us, and let's just not renew him right now. He has a contract until 2021, I believe, so 2 more seasons of Vidal I think is more than fine. Vermeulen is an absolute sell. Sell Vermeulen right now. I mean, this guy has played a good amount of minutes, especially more last season where he replaced a long time Samuel Umtiti, but after that, just nothing too impressive in my eyes, you know. So just sell him right now. It's simple as that. Samuel Umtiti is a funny one. Samuel Umtiti, as we know, he's kind of like what you expect to be just a world-class player from the get-go, but because of the injury, he hasn't had that time. So with Samuel Umtiti, I would say right now it's a keep. He has been renewed last season, so I don't think we need to go too much in depth on that. But the thing with Umtiti is that he has been taking away his spot by Lenglet. So I think that battle between Lenglet and Umtiti shall continue and resume next season, because they will be in a more even ground. You know, Lenglet now has demonstrated that he can be a world-class center back, while Umtiti already is, but because of the injury he didn't got the game time. So now they can, you know, be in the same position and actually battle it out properly to see who should be that center back. I believe that the money we could get for Umtiti is something Barcelona can be thinking about, but in the long run, Umtiti is just much more of a useful player than any potential center back we could get. Now we got Todibo. Todibo is a very interesting player because he can play both CDM and as a center back, but I'm gonna have to give him on a loan right now. I believe Todibo has shown good things. He had an injury prior to or after the game against Celta Vigo, and I just believe he needs a little more time. He overall plays very, very good, but I don't know, guys. I think 19 can improve still. Let's just send him out on loan to another club where he can get the game time, preferably Ajax. Hopefully they can take him, and yeah, that's gonna be my decision. Ter Stegen is a deal, certainly. If you can't renew this guy, he's insane. Suárez is another interesting player because I believe he can still give a lot to this club, yet the thing that bothers me is that he's like, what, 32 at the moment, and people are gonna get jumping on his back. People are gonna be saying that because of that age he's not gonna be good anymore. I do believe the talent. He wasn't the best against Liverpool, he wasn't against the best in this season, but he can still be a good player. I say just keep him, but the thing here is that he could possibly lose his starting position if we ever bring a better striker. In this video I'm not gonna go over, you know, transfers and anything. We're gonna be talking about it on the next episode or possibly the one after that, so just relax, guys. The transfers are gonna be coming. I know what we need, but right now Suárez can be a good player for us even if he is not the main striker. He could be a very good replacement, a very good impact player that plays around 20 matches a season and not necessarily every single one of them. Sergio Roberto is a keep as well. I believe Sergio Roberto is a player that is very versatile, very, very useful. He could possibly lose his position on the right back because I believe Semedo just needs to make the jump right now. I think Semedo has more qualities as a right back that right now are not being exploited. He could be much, much better than what he currently is. He's a much better right back than Roberto could ever be. So Semedo needs to play every single game next season. That is how it has to be. That is how it has to be. And here we got Semedo. So you can see that Semedo for me is a deal. Ricky Puig is it's a deal. Simply as that. Amazing, amazing guy. Amazing, amazing player. Just keep him in the team. He can add a lot to our squad. And the thing here for me that really triggers is that people are saying that he should go out on loan. Nah, I think he should stay in Barcelona and play more minutes, kind of like Aleñá did this season. Next season, Aleñá is going to get more minutes, so therefore kind of like someone like Ricky Puig will take his position in the side, getting some few matches here and there on a Copa del Rey and adjusting to first team football. Rakitic is a sell. Rakitic is a sell simply because he's at a stage where he's not old enough, but also not young enough. He's in this area of like 30-31 where his quality as a player is very, very good, and Barcelona can still get a good amount of money of it. I seen reports today that linking him to PSG and Inter for around 43 million euros, which is very, very good. So I think Rakitic needs to be a sell. Another player I would sell would be Rafinha. Rafinha, in my eyes, is someone who has had just a very, very unlucky period at Barcelona. I believe that overall he's a very good talented player, but he's 25. He's gonna be 26 next year, and he hasn't really been anything special for Barcelona. He has been a good player, but not anything special. I believe at another club he could be that, and he deserves to be that. So more importantly, for the benefit of Barcelona and the player, he should leave. Injuries have not treated him well, and like I said in another video previously, you need to be playing consistent football even when you're injury prone, so that then you can like get over those injuries. Your body's kind of like cold, you know, cold when you don't play, so that's why you get more injuries. He needs to go out, just play more and more. So Rafinha, I will sell him. Plus you could get a good amount of money for him, between 20 and 30 million in my opinion. So that is what I would do. Next up, we got Gerard Piqué, and Gerard Piqué for me is a keep. Very similar to what I said with other players like Arturo Vidal. His value is incredible as a player, and if we sell him or anything, he won't be useful at all. You know, we won't get huge amount of money for him, and he's still a very, very good center back. This season, he has been the second best center back in the entire world. Simply as that for me. So let's just keep him, guys. He may be 31, 32, I'm not really quite sure, but the value as a player, as a center back, is really good, so just keep him. Next up, we got Ousmane Dembele, and he's a deal. Like, he's a deal. Next season, very similar to Semedo, they have been both on and off the side of the starting 11, and they just need to be starters. They just need to play every single minute of every single game they can, because they need to make that jump to become very, very good players, to become world-class players. I cannot say Dembele right now is a world-class player, because he doesn't have that kind of, like, you know, spotlight all the time. He needs to be playing more. He needs to become a more decisive player. He is this season. He has been. So just imagine how much greater he will be when he can play 40 games in a season, when he can play 30 games as a starter. So Dembele has to play, and I would renew him. Murillo, sell. Do I really need to comment? I don't think so. Jasper Citizen is very interesting, and I'm gonna put him as a sell. The reason why is because, very similar to people like Rakitic as well, we can get a very good amount of money for him. His value is incredible. He's one of the best goalkeepers, I think, in the world. I believe he can be in the discussion for top 10 goalkeepers. But as a substitute, he's being mistreated. I believe that for Barcelona and for the player, we owe him, because he has just been incredible. And right now at 28, 29, he needs to play every single game. You know, as a goalkeeper, it's sad that it has been a waste. Of course, he would have wanted to win the Champions League with Barcelona, but that didn't happen. So let's just leave him by the big door. He has been a good servant for the club, but I believe that there can be other goalkeepers out there which we can get, and that's another position we're gonna be talking on the next video. Busquets is a keep right now. Busquets, I would possibly, I said I don't see which club would take Busquets, and then I don't know how much money we would get for him, and the value is still there. Like I said, as a CDM, he's still there. He has been declining a lot, and that is something where we cannot escape because of how many minutes he has played throughout his entire career, so his body is gonna deteriorate at some point. And the thing here is that we kind of can get a new CDM, a new center midfield, and just kind of like share the minutes a bit more. You know, Busquets have played around what, 50 games this season, reduce the number to 25, get a new midfielder in to play those 25, and just keep alternating until one moment the CDM surpasses Busquets. That's what I believe should we do with a lot of different players in the squad, but like I said, more on that video later. Boateng, sell. Yes, sell directly. Cucurella, it's very interesting. Cucurella is kind of like, if we get a new left back, if we manage to find a backup left back, which right now in the world I think they're lacking. I do not believe there are that many good left backs which are not yet world class. Cucurella is in that kind of like sort of spectrum. I believe Cucurella could be a good servant for Barcelona. If not, we could sell him and get a good amount of money if we do get a left back. So right now I'm gonna put Cucurella as a keep. And I already gonna tell you guys that people like Alex Collado, people like Oriol Busquets, all of them are a keep. All of them are a keep. I do not have faces of every single one of them, but every single Masia graduate, except that the ones that are appearing here on this video, are a keep. So don't worry about that if they don't appear in this video. Lionel Messi, like a deal, I guess, because I don't believe he's a keep, but deal. Malcolm, a deal. It's very unfortunate that he hasn't played, but if we picture that, for instance, someone that starts with the letter this or this, I don't know which face is the camera, if he gets sold, then Malcolm can take the role of Dembele this season, you know? He can take the role of being that second player in attack. And yeah, I believe Malcolm deserves a lot more game time because he can be an incredible player. So if certainly Coutinho leaves, Malcolm is going to take the role of Dembele of this season, and then Dembele the one of Coutinho, well, this season as well. Alenya is a deal. I believe that he can be a very good player for us, and he has just proven that he can be a good influential midfielder in games like against Deportivo Alavés. So yeah, keep him. Arthur, a deal as well. Jordi Alba is a keep. Very similar to what I explained before with other players. He's good right now. I don't think we need to renew him by any means. And he has just renewed this year. So at 30 years old, 29, I think the value of that player right now is much more important of the money we could get. Abel Ruiz is a loan. I believe that Abel Ruiz at 18 now can make the jump to a club where he can play more minutes and of a club of more competitive nature. So perhaps a La Liga club. And he will need to go there to improve. And I almost finished the video without including two very, very crucial players to talk about. And the very first one is Philippe Coutinho, as you can see. And Philippe Coutinho, for me, he's gonna be a sell. I believe Philippe Coutinho has not have the best time at Barcelona. I believe that he has given good enough chances, not perhaps in his preferred position, but I don't see this improving. I don't see the situation of Coutinho improving because the fans are fed up with Coutinho and the manager doesn't seem to understand he cannot be an out-and-out left winger. And more importantly, playing in the same team as Messi, they don't really work as much. The only time I would see Coutinho being successful at Barcelona is if Messi reduces his minutes and Coutinho plays those games where Messi doesn't play, and just that is simply not gonna happen. Philippe Coutinho may have arrived at Barcelona a little bit early, and perhaps Coutinho in 2 years time could have been a much better player because of that reason, Messi not playing those many games. And the money that we can get from Coutinho is insane. I believe that teams right now are still going out there to perhaps even beat 100 million for Coutinho. We would lose around 30 million, but it's good enough. 100 million for Philippe Coutinho is a good transfer business with the situations that we've come to see, you know, with this overall him underperforming, getting 100 is good enough. So Philippe Coutinho is gonna be departing the club in my eyes, and we should sell him. He is one of the players, along with Rakitic, that needs to be sold, and now he needs to be sold. Next up, we got Clement Lenglet, and he is for me a deal. Clement Lenglet has proven that he can be a wonderful player for Barcelona, so keep him in. And the final player is gonna be Moussa Wagué. I believe Moussa Wagué deserves to play more at Barcelona. He really does. The very first thing I'm going to give with Moussa Wagué is that if we push Sergio Roberto into the midfield, he has to become the secondary fullback at Barcelona, and that is how it has to be. He has the quality to be part to our first teamers. So Moussa Wagué, amazing. He has earned his spot here, and he deserves to be at Barcelona in the first team regularly. So overall, guys, those are my opinions of the players we should deal, keep, sell, or loan. And I want to hear what you have to say in the comment box down below. The next video is going to be either about the new manager, because as you know, I believe Ernesto Valverde should leave, and if not, it's going to be a video about the transfers, the players we could bring in. So if you're excited, be sure to drop us a like, leave us a subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. It's been great having you here on the channel for this kind of like cool, interesting video, and hopefully you want more of these as well. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.